Hey, welcome to Truck Talk Tuesday. This is Troy. Just wanted to give you an update on my keto journey so far. I'm 2 weeks in and I'm 10 pounds down. It's not the most I've ever lost in that amount of time, but it's still decent progress. I had a cheat day over the weekend and had some donuts, and it was not good, and I felt horrible physically. I felt bloated and yucky. And the scale actually said I gained 3 pounds from that day, but then it went away basically by the next day of doing my normal intermittent fasting, so I just assumed it was water weight. So I could have been even farther down, but I kind of ruined my progress a little bit there. And the great thing about keto is if you ruin your progress, you just jump right back on board and keep going. Also going to be doing a couple more gear reviews on my other channel. I'm saying a lot. I got a little action cam off a flash sale on Amazon. It's a Cam Park brand. It was a decent price on it, super cheap. So I mean, not gonna get GoPro quality, but it says it can video in 4K. So far, playing around with it and testing it, the audio is horrible, even with its little external mic that they sent that you can plug in. It just doesn't do very good. Also got a red dot sight for one of my handheld pews for hunting, and trying to get decent accuracy for long range on a handheld concealed carry pew. It's not technically a concealed carry pew, it's a full size, but it's not one of the compact slim models. Don't want to go further into that because I'm still learning the regulations on YouTube, so I don't get dings against me and all that. So I'm going to be doing that. Like I said, I got a rappelling harness. I think I said that, I'm not sure. But if I didn't say it, I got a rappelling harness I'm going to be using for my tree stand as my hunting safety line, basically. Safety harness. It was actually cheaper to buy a rappelling harness than it was to buy a actual hunting, cheaper than it was to buy an actual hunting harness. And I have experience with rappelling and stuff, so I mean, I know what I'm doing with it. That was one of the things we trained quite well on in the Army, and I excelled at. Also going to be using that to teach some of the boys with the Trail Life group how to rappel. We're going to be purchasing some harnesses for them and the actual rappelling ropes. I have one of my own rappelling ropes, but teaching other people how to do stuff, you need multiples, so you can do it along with them. So going to be doing some gear reviews. I got some camping gear that we didn't get to use because the weather was horrible, and trying to take little kids out camping in rainy, nasty, cold weather is not the greatest, and most parents aren't good with it right away. They want to wait until they've been in the Trail Life group a little longer and get used to the outings before they start stepping up the difficulty levels of it. The group I work with is the 6th grade and up. That's 6th to 8th grade and 8th to 12th. So, but we don't have any in the 8th to or in the 9th to 12th range. We just have some kids in the 6th to 8th grade range, and my son happens to be one of them. He just got into the 6th grade range, so this is a new year for him in the group they call the Navigators. The Adventurers is the step up. But we do a lot more outdoorsy bushcraft style stuff, learning, and he's enjoying it, although he wasn't really enjoying learning about wild edibles. I found out he was sneaking his phone under the table and texting his sister, "Save me, SOS, I'm bored out of my mind." And we do our regular checkups on his phone to just be decent parents and monitor what he's doing, and saw the text, and we kind of had to get on to him about, hey, this is for learning, you need to be really paying attention to it, even if you're bored, because this stuff technically could essentially save his life later on in his life. So we do that kind of stuff, and been going over ropes and knots and bushcraft tools, outdoor cooking, indoor cooking, because they also teach basic life skills in it. Last year he learned how to make a pizza from scratch, and I learned with him. So we got that done, or not done, but we're getting ready to try and set up another camping trip, which will be around the beginning of December, because November gets a little hectic with all the people in our church that hunt, and November's rifle season for deer is a big one that most of the people do. So we're kind of working around that, working around Thanksgiving and all that. So we're going to plan our next camping trip for around the beginning of December. Might end up actually being a cave camping trip where we get to camp in a local cave. Around the property here, we got a few different things done that I didn't really do on camera because I was trying to hurry and beat the rain, and it's been rainy for here for almost a week straight with just little intermittent blobs of time that it's not. But we got the boat cover on and got all the leaves blown out of the boat. I should have had that done a long time ago. Got the kayaks picked up out of the yard where they were sitting from offloading and from our last camping trip, and got them loaded up on my old boat trailer that I converted to a utility trailer. I'll cover that a little later on a different video on how I did that. And just been working on cleaning up the yard, picking up leaves, and well, picking up trash and breaking leaves, and getting ready for fall. I'm also, which I'll show on this channel, I'm working on building my own ladder. I was a welder in the Army and basic fabricator and metal worker, and I enjoy doing that kind of stuff, and I'm using that to make a ladder because I have the stuff on hand to do it, the raw materials, and I got the welder and cutting tools and all that. So I'm going to make my own ladder. I started on it a little bit to kind of get the idea going, but I'll jump in and show you on probably the next video what I'm doing with that. Filming, it's going to be a little awkward because of my location where I do most of my metalworking. I am currently running off of an extension cord from a building next door to it because it doesn't have very decent power supply to the building. So we'll cover some of that and show you the process of what I'm doing. And I got to make the ladder so I can get up on my roof to clean the gutters, because the only ladder I have is a 6-foot. And I had borrowed my dad's 12-foot ladder, but he needed it back, so I took it back to him, and he's using it for other projects at the moment. So got to do something to get up on the roof and clean out the gutters. My gutter guard, I don't even bother putting it on because we got pine trees around our house and the needles go right through the gutter guard. So got to do that so it doesn't overflow and get into our house, because when it does overflow, it pours over the back and I guess over the fascia board and straight into our attic and rolls across the ceiling and comes out right on the vent, or through the vent over the stove, and drips right down on the stove burners. So got to take care of that before it ruins anything. And gonna have to put some gutter lags in because the gutter nails are pulling out in some spots from where it had been overflowing and pulling away from the house a little bit in some spots. So we got a Halloween outdoor movie night we're going to be doing, because I got a little projector and some concert style speakers, because my dad did audio for praise and worship teams and churches, and also installs for the sanctuaries, and I did that with him for a while, and I got my own equipment out of it so we can run events. And one of the things that I have is my own set of speakers and subwoofers, so I can run my own little concert or event if I needed. I think my dad's idea of talking me into getting it was so I could do some DJ work or something, but I am not that great at the flow of talking like a DJ or doing anything. So most of the time if I do events, I'll show up and hand the mic off to somebody else basically, and I just supply the equipment, and I'll run a playlist off of my phone and music. And I've done a couple birthday parties and stuff like that, and also a teacher's event at the park for my wife's school, and they enjoyed that. So I have that kind of stuff that I can set up for our movie nights, and we can have full high quality sound for our outside movie nights that would probably make the neighbors a little grumpy if I really wanted to turn it up. Other news, I didn't film a video about it, but last week we had lost our tortoise for a little bit. My wife had let it out into our garden, which is fenced in. We actually put both of our tortoises out for a good day where it was in the 80s and sunny and everything. And one of them is just small enough that in one of the spots it can sneak under the edge of the fence if it pushes a board out of the way. And it did that, and it was gone for, I think, 3 days. Actually, it might have even been 4 days, but it was before my last Truck Talk Tuesday. I just had forgot to mention it in that. Posted it on Instagram, and Hercules had got out and got away. Well, my wife found it after 3 or 4 days. I guess it had found a rabbit burrow and went down in, because we had a couple nights that were down in the 30s, and they're sulcata tortoises, they're desert tortoises, so we were really worried that it wasn't going to handle the super harsh cold weather that we were getting in, because it got down into the low 30s and even had frost on the ground for one of the nights it was gone. And had been doing our daily walk arounds of the property to look in the general area that it had been. My wife was just certain, had this feeling that she knew where it was going to be in that area, and I was kind of thinking, it's probably not even going to be anywhere near there. I'm probably going to find it when I'm walking through the woods or something, or might find its remains. But my wife found it while I was welding and over by the garage, and she was on the other side of the yard, and she just was screaming and screaming, and I found her, I found her, I found her. And I was thinking, with the way she was screaming, that it was going to be dead. And she walked up with it, and it was perked up and active and happy to see her, I guess, and covered in dirt where it had found a little rabbit burrow. And she said she had found it right by the little burrow, like it had just came out and started eating, because it was another nice day. And that was the good news that we had recently for that. It's pretty much all I really have that I wanted to talk about for now. I'm going to try and make a couple actual videos so it's not just the truck talks, because so far that's been seeming what I've been doing. So trying to work on slowly acquiring better video equipment, because right now everything's on my iPhone and it doesn't do the greatest whenever it comes to shaky or moving around and stuff. The image stabilization isn't that great on it, and it's a little awkward at times to try and do it all on the cell phone. It takes up so much space, and I have to offload it real frequently to make sure I don't overload my phone on video clips and stuff. But other than that, the picture quality is decent on it, especially compared to this little action cam I just did. Like in this same view, you almost can't even see my face because it looks so dark. And then I'm pretty much editing almost everything on the iPhone itself. So I'm going to work on slowly upgrading that stuff and getting into better quality for filming. And I'm still trying to do some learning on video editing and different things to make things a little better for you. So that's pretty much all I have for today. Thanks for joining me. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Share it with your friends and your family. Help me grow this, and I'll see you for the next one.